Let me speak straight to you, the Joint Force, our warriors on the front lines. This is your moment. This is the generational turning point America has waited for since 1979, and since the rudderless wars of hubris, my generation, our generation, endured. Don't listen to the noise. Just stay focused. Our commander-in-chief is steady at the wheel. We face a determined enemy, but you are better. But we must prove it every single day. History doesn't care if we're tired, if we're scared, or if the fight feels big. It demands warriors who rise anyway.
At 01:10 local time, in the Strait of Hormuz, the noose around the IRGC tightened dramatically. As the Iranian government began openly turning against the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps following weeks of devastating losses, the United States escalated its pressure both on the battlefield and through crippling financial sanctions. A US nuclear-powered Ohio-class submarine, capable of launching ballistic missiles, silently took position in the strait, while elite US Marine recon teams launched a daring night raid to destroy Iran's most critical anti-submarine missile storage near Bandar Abbas. Operation Iron Noose was in full effect. Deep in forward bases and aboard US Navy vessels in the Persian Gulf, American forces prepared with lethal precision. In the ready rooms of amphibious assault ships, 180 US Marine recon operators from the 1st and 2nd Marine Raider battalions checked their gear with calm intensity. Each operator tightened lightweight plate carriers loaded with suppressed Mk-18 carbines, extra magazines, flashbangs, breaching charges, and night vision goggles. Heavy rucksacks contained demolition kits, shape charges, anti-armor munitions, medical trauma packs, and encrypted satellite radios. Team leaders ran final rehearsals on digital maps showing the exact layout of the heavily guarded underground anti-submarine missile storage complex near Bandar Abbas. Meanwhile, financial warfare teams in Washington and the Gulf simultaneously tightened sanctions, freezing IRGC-linked accounts and cutting off their funding networks across the region. Aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, F-35C pilots sat ready in their cockpits while destroyers and cruisers maintained constant patrols. But the most menacing presence was underwater. The USS Georgia, a converted Ohio-class nuclear submarine carrying 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles and ballistic missile capability, had silently slipped into the narrow waters of the Strait of Hormuz. Its presence alone sent shockwaves through IRGC command. Iranian intelligence had detected the submarine's arrival, and panic spread rapidly through IRGC ranks. For the first time, senior IRGC commanders realized their coastal defenses could be annihilated from beneath the waves at any moment. At 01:35, the ground operation launched. Two platoons of Marine recon operators boarded MH-60S Seahawk helicopters and fast RHIBs. The helicopters lifted off under the cover of darkness, flying nap of the earth to avoid detection, while the RHIBs cut silently through the black water toward the Iranian coastline. Overhead, EA-18G Growlers jammed Iranian radars and communications, and F-35Cs from the Lincoln provided invisible overwatch. The Ohio-class submarine maintained its deadly position, its missile tubes ready if escalation was needed. 28 minutes later, the Marine recon teams inserted near Bandar Abbas. Operators fast-roped from the Seahawks onto rocky terrain, while others came ashore from the sea. Splitting into 4 assault elements, the Marines moved quickly and silently through the darkness toward the heavily fortified underground missile storage facility, the primary depot for Iran's advanced anti-submarine missiles and coastal defense systems. At 02:08, the raid began. The lead Marine teams hit the outer perimeter. Suppressed weapons whispered as guards were neutralized. Explosive breaching charges flashed against reinforced gates. Inside the sprawling complex, fierce but one-sided fighting erupted. IRGC Quds force defenders, caught completely off guard, opened fire with AKs and machine guns. The Marine recon operators answered with disciplined, deadly precision. Night vision green reticles danced as operators cleared bunker after bunker. Javelin missiles destroyed armored vehicles attempting to respond, while demo teams planted charges on the main underground storage entrances. Deep underground, the Marines discovered rows of advanced Chinese-made anti-submarine missiles and Russian-supplied systems designed to threaten American submarines. Shape charges were placed on the warhead storage areas and launch rail systems. As the fighting intensified on the surface, one Marine element fought a brutal close-quarters battle inside the command post, eliminating IRGC officers who were desperately trying to call for reinforcements. Meanwhile, the IRGC command was in chaos. Reports of the American nuclear submarine sitting in the Strait of Hormuz had spread terror through their ranks. With the Iranian regular government increasingly distancing itself from the IRGC's provocations, many units received conflicting orders or outright refused to engage. This internal fracture worked heavily in favor of the American operators. At 02:35, the demolition phase began. Massive controlled explosions ripped through the underground facility as the Marine recon teams destroyed the primary anti-submarine missile stockpiles. Fireballs erupted from ventilation shafts as secondary detonations tore through the complex. The sky above Bandar Abbas glowed orange as years of IRGC anti-access weaponry burned. Iranian reinforcements attempted to rush the area in trucks and armored vehicles, but orbiting F-35Cs from the USS Abraham Lincoln delivered precise surgical strikes, destroying the approaching columns before they could reach the fight. The Ohio-class submarine remained a silent, terrifying shadow beneath the waves, a constant reminder that far greater firepower could be unleashed instantly if needed. By 02:55, the primary objectives were complete. The critical anti-submarine missile storage facility was reduced to a smoking crater. Intelligence materials were seized, and surviving IRGC personnel were either eliminated or left incapacitated. The Marine Recon Force began its fighting withdrawal toward the extraction points under continuous air cover. MH-60 Seahawks swooped back in as the last operators fast-roped aboard. The RHIB teams raced back to their motherships, while F-35s conducted final suppression runs on any remaining threats. By 03:20, the entire Marine Recon Force was safely extracted with no American casualties. As the sun began to rise over the Strait of Hormuz, the USS Georgia submarine maintained its strategic position, while the carrier strike group continued enforcing dominance over the waterway. The IRGC was now caught in a deadly vice, crushed militarily by American special operations and air power, strangled financially by international sanctions, and politically abandoned by their own government. In just 15 minutes of audacious special operations, US Marine Recon teams, supported by naval and air assets, had destroyed a vital pillar of Iran's coastal defense network. The presence of an American nuclear submarine in the heart of the Strait of Hormuz, combined with the Iranian government's growing rift with the IRGC, marked a strategic turning point. Operation Iron Noose was a complete success. America had tightened the ropes, and the IRGC was running out of room to breathe. The fires still burning near Bandar Abbas served as a clear warning. The era of IRGC dominance in the region was coming to a violent and irreversible end.